Lower your attack stat by 2 stages because you're about to get charmed by Pink Floyd, a podcast where we watch every movie ever made to see if it syncs up with Pink Floyd's 1973 magnum opus, The Dark Side of the Moon. My name is Gareth Blackler, and we found him at a train station named James Barron, so it must be James Barron.
That's right. You can't say what my real name is because my species has its own language. And it's very hard to pronounce, so we'll go with James Barron. That's fine. How you going?
I'm doing well. The phone book has arrived.
Oh my god!
It's a new phone book day in Auckland. Didn't realize we were on that list.
What a blast from the past! Holy crap!
Yeah,
the phone book.
They've combined the yellow and white pages now.
Oh man, they're the pale yellow pages now.
Yeah, and the back cover is a big ad for getting rid of meth.
Oh.
And
hey, man.
I've memorized this unopened phone book, by the way. It's a big ad for getting rid of meth, and there's a big picture of the Harbour Bridge, as if to say, the Harbour Bridge is covered in meth.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, the first step's getting rid of that bridge, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because, dang.
It's been nothing but trouble.
Yeah, it's the meth capital of your city. Holy shit. I mean, getting rid of meth, I feel like there's very few people on the other side of that issue.
Yeah, meth dealers and meth users are the only ones who are like, well, let's keep it around.
I love that. The idea of someone opening the phone book and having their mind change about meth when they need to make a call. It's like, actually, meth might be bad.
Yeah, I'm glad this thing got mailed to me.
Let me call up some kind of anonymous hotline. Oh, goodness me. We're far off track.
How are you, James?
Mate, I'm good. The phone book thing works as a segue as well because there's phone books in the movie that we watched. It features heavily in the movie Paddington 2014.
Oh, there is.
A little bear having his day in the sun. Yes. What did you think of Paddington, Gareth?
Well, am I a pre-teens deodorant with a floral scent? Because that was a cool charm.
Dang.
It was, oh my goodness, this film, a delight from start to finish. This film, I'm worried to hear, I'm padding, much like our favourite beer.
Nice.
I'm padding a ton, because I'm worried to hear what you've got to say, just in case you didn't love it as much as I will. I actually, maybe a little offended.
Oh, wow. No,
but don't let that stop you.
As much as I want to, yes and that and be, really cruel and nasty about it, I did love the film. It was very fun. A romp. It was a good time.
Yes.
Start to finish. Absolutely. Good stuff.
Yeah. We'll add some trinkets to you, because you're a charm bracelet.
Man, you got a lot of charm-based material. I was certain earlier that you were going to say Lynx Africa as well, by the way. It's the only tropical fragrance that I'm aware of.
Oh. I was in an improv scene with a scene partner who was American, and I was doing a lot of jokes about Lynx.
Nice.
But he knew it as Axe.
Yeah, true.
So it was it actually had to stop and be explained by our coach for that session, who was American and New Zealander. I could finally mitigate that conversation.
Forming a comedy bridge between the two of you.
Oh, look out for the meth.
Always good you have, not the bridge of meth, absolutely not. It's good when you have to explain a joke to a comedy partner. Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, if, in the right setting, I feel like that material would have killed. It's way funnier for someone who doesn't know what Lynx body spray is. I think.
Why is he talking about this, big cat?
Yeah. I guess I'll yes and this. I don't know.
Anyway, Paddington, 2014. You watched it clean, then you watched it with Pink Floyd, I assume?
That's right. I did a double-decker of Paddington today, and then I watched it straight up, first thing in the morning, with my morning coffee. It was a bloody romp. And then, in the afternoon, I was like, let's hit it again. Top shelf. Let's go for Paddington again, but with the Floyd playing. So yeah, that's been my day. And now, in the evening, I'm here to talk about it with you. So...
Oh my gosh. Has it affected your day? Has your day gone differently due to this, mainlining of Paddington?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't really done anything outside of watching Paddington and like eating food, so like basic human needs. So I guess that affected my day in some way.
My favorite part of that is I can read that as you think watching Paddington is a basic human need.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this is like the 3-tiered layer cake covered in marmalade, Gareth, that I'm enjoying with you.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. It's been a bloody good day. So
yeah. Well, there's no better expert than to talk about Paddington and how it syncs up with Pink Floyd than you. So,
Wow.
do you want to crack into it?
Sure, it's fresh in my mind. So let's dive on in to some Paddington.
Let's have a Paddington of fun.
Oh, let's do it, mate. We start the movie. Heartbeats over the opening title things, with the studios, etc.
Yeah.
The film starts with a small documentary about the expedition to Darkest Peru. I love that it's referred to as Darkest Peru every time. I think that's really like Darkest is like a sub-location within Peru. I think that's really funny to me.
Yeah, same.
Yes, there's a old English explorer out there traveling and looking for new species and things. A bit of a gag in there where he is carrying a gentleman's timepiece and travel piano. There's like a bunch of people helping him, and there's just a guy carrying a grandfather clock and like a really small baby grand around.
Oh, I missed that. That's awesome.
It's really good. There's a lot of little cheeky like dialogue and like British isms in here.
Yes.
That is very charming, very cool charming for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it a type of elementary particle? Because it's a charm quark.
Dang, dude.
I've got the Wikipedia page, don't worry.
This well is deep. Yeah. So there's he gets saved by a bear out here in the woods. There's like a little scorpion or something on his lapel. Don't know if scorpions are native to Peru. They probably are, but I don't really know. And then we're into like the smooth vibes of Breathe as we just see these bears and living and having a good time. And they're intelligent bears that can speak. And the explorer's like, I had a great time with these bears and made a documentary. And he gives the bear his hat. And that's the start of the film. This little mini doco. Very enjoyable.
And the film then goes colour when the vocals kick in for Breathe.
Yes. It's in black and white and 4:3 for this little section.
Yeah.
Lots of good little frame use, actually, throughout this movie. Like different aspect ratios. Which is good stuff. It reminds me a lot of like Wes Anderson's direction.
For sure.
Yeah. He uses those kind of things quite a lot in his cinema. We get the nice Breathe vocals kicking in, as we go straight into meeting Paddington and his regular life out here in Peru, just like going nuts over these fruits that get made into marmalade. What kind of fruits get made into marmalade? Is it grapefruit? I don't actually... Or can you do like multiple different fruits?
Holy cow, I thought it was an orange, but like there's no way it would be that bitter.
I guess so.
I actually don't know.
I feel like it's grapefruit. I don't know. I feel like you can like make marmalades out of various citrus fruits and it would probably go okay. Like I think there's like lemon marmalades and things like that. But as far as I know, we'll call these grapefruit. There's fruits of some kind anyway.
It is any citrus, you're correct.
Nice. Okay.
That has messed up my day knowing that. I had no idea.
I mean, I hardly ever eat marmalade. Do you partake in the...
This is the one thing I disagree with my boy Paddington on.
Wow.
I think marmalade is really bad.
I mean, I kind of agree. Jam is way better in general.
Yeah.
I enjoy some marmalade. It's like I associate it heavily with my grandparents, and that they would always offer, like, instead of offering me any kind of spread on toast, they would just make toast for me when I was a little kid, and they would put marmalade on there, and I'd be like, it's a lot. It's a lot for my little kid palate to handle, Gran. All right.
It does remind me just the surprise of bitterness in marmalade. I had a boss who we used to get a box of fruit delivered to the office, and my boss split a grapefruit with me, and I was so excited. It was like a real, boss and underling kind of bonding. That grapefruit was so bad. Grapefruit is not fun.
What? I love grapefruit as a flavor.
Really?
Yeah.
I like
all about it.
Oh, no, I don't even know. Just the bitterness.
Man. Yeah, it is definitely a strong flavor. Yeah, you weren't ready.
Yeah.
It's the
yeah, I'm a weak man.
That's not what I'm trying to imply. I really like the marmalade, I guess, or the what we're saying, grapefruit flavored fruit juice. I think they're the best fruit juice available. That's some key New Zealand content. A fruit juice is like a popsicle, an iced lolly, an ice treat.
Yeah, it's kind of more like, it's like they got a bit of shaved ice and like punched it in really dense back into its ice block form.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
With a bit of grapefruit going on there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the best one.
Anyway, so Paddington and his aunt and uncle.
Yes, Uncle Pastuzo and Aunt Lucy out here living in the woods, making marmalade with an elaborate bamboo machine that they've constructed because they've learned from these explorers and his artifacts he left behind, and has sort of become hyper-intelligent human bears that can speak fluent English. That's the deal here. And yeah, there's a bit of shenanigans involved with making this marmalade, a bit of slapstick humor. It's pretty good. And then, they're like up there in their house, like practicing the English lifestyle. They've got like a gramophone playing this like how to be an English gentleman vinyl, I guess.
Yeah.
It's very funny. They're like talking about the different kinds of ways you can like talk about the weather, which is just the most British thing ever. It's so good.
Yeah, especially the fact that it's raining.
Yeah. Oh, it's wonderful. And yeah, this is where Pastuzo talks about putting a marmalade sandwich in one's hat in case of emergency. Solid advice from Uncle Pastuzo here.
Oh, yeah.
Voiced by Michael Gambon as well, Dumbledore. So
yeah,
that's fun. We didn't hear him though, obviously. Got breathe rolling on over.
But the way his subtitles looked. Oh.
Yeah. Actually, no, we're on the run now because we're about to have an on the run moment with the earthquake rolling in. I don't know if Peru's prone to earthquakes. Presumably it is, because it's in South America, right? Which is like on a fault line.
I'm going to assume not a lot of Peru research went into the original Paddington Bear books.
Nah, probably not. But they've come around. I mean, I feel like the earthquake is canon in the Paddington lore. Spent some time on the Paddington wiki today between watches, Gareth, and I'm fairly certain that while Pastuzo potentially dying here isn't canon to the books, the earthquake where he gets separated is. So, yeah, that's my findings. Okay. That's what I need to report back. But yeah, there's a big earthquake, and so they rush down to this little like bomb shelter they've built out here in the woods. I love that they have this. They're well prepared, these bears.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, this ruckus fitting really well with On the Run, so I'm happy about that. Poor Pastuzo like just stares out and sees their little treehouse get destroyed. This is a heartbreaking moment for me. And then the aunt and young Paddington make it to the little shelter, but unfortunately Pastuzo does not. And in the morning, he is gone, nowhere to be seen. And they only find his hat. Oh.
Yeah, but it was so... This was when in my life as a scientist, finding these sinks has really, like... I had to take a long look in the mirror because there was a crash, the on-the-run crash happened as they found the hat.
Yes.
And that's a good sink, but that's a sad sink.
It's a sad sink, baby. Yeah. They find the hat. It's like it's off camera, but Paddington like spies something when the crash sound happens, and you can see it's the crash syncing up with his heart breaking.
Yeah.
Which is rough. It's a very tragic start to this movie, I must admit, especially for a kids film. Like, dang.
What's with these kids films, eh? Like, there's got to be... I don't know. I can't believe it's just it works for Bambi, it works for Up. Let's keep doing it. There's got to be some sort of deep childhood research they've done that's proven kids like to start sad and get happier.
It's not even really like I have a theory in that like it's supposed to like break these tough subjects to kids at an early age so that they're more capable of dealing with it later in life. At least that's like what I think about Bambi for sure. But it's hard to justify in this one, and that like the result of this is that Paddington gets shipped off as if he was a like child during World War II times. Yeah. Which is like literally the reference that his aunt Lucy makes to him.
Yeah.
Like, the explorer had a war back in his time. Yeah, it's like it's really rough. Yeah, I was not expecting that reference in this movie either. But yeah, she does say that she'll be fine and that she'll go to the home for retired bears, which is a fantastic thing. It turns out to be real, which I'm thrilled with. But
yeah, not real in our world as far as we know. But
it could be real. How deep into Peru have we gone? You know,
that's true. Yeah, us specifically.
Yeah. I've barely dipped a toe into Peru, so I don't know. It could be real, as far as I know. Yeah. Of course, after the crash sound, we get all the clocks going off, and that does not really sync with anything. It's just the establishing shot of the ship.
Yeah.
So we'll breeze on by that one, and yeah, we're into time. And yeah, Paddington just sort of chills out on this lifeboat, this ship bound for England. He's hiding in a lifeboat and just scoffing down marmalade over the voyage. He's in here probably for a long time. Going from Peru to England, that's a long journey by ship. But yeah, anyway, he makes it to London and gets through a series of more antics, makes his way to Paddington Station, and yeah, pops out as begin to time solo, which is sweet.
Yeah, he wriggles out of his little mailbag he's been hiding in. Yeah, a perfect like little boogie to the solo.
Yeah, man, I'm boogieing with Paddington, absolutely. And yeah, this is another fairly sad moment in that he's like trying to catch people's attention. He's lived his life has been like, you'll come to London and you'll be accepted and someone will give you a home. It's warm and welcoming. But once he gets there, everyone's just sort of, he's in the middle of a busy train station and everyone's just ignoring this tiny bear in a hat. Yeah, I do kind of love how Paddington is treated in this movie as like just a regular thing. It's not, no one really panics that there's a bear at all. It's never addressed. I think that's great.
Yeah, it's really quite nice because it's like, he isn't, like, no one's like, wow, a talking bear.
Yeah.
But he's also clearly is the first talking bear because that explorer was so excited.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone just sort of accepts it immediately. They're like, yep, that's what's happening. Yeah. You came to the talking bear movie, so, you know, like,
yeah, exactly.
You got to get on this ship with us full of marmalade and then, yeah, you'll join us in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is like, because I think we talked about it with Jumanji, just how quickly we like our characters to get on board.
Yeah.
And I think there's one where you take forever to get on board and it's very realistic. And then there's the kind of really quick get on board that always kind of rubs you the wrong way. And then there's this beautiful other version where you're just on board. You're like, yep, magic, sweet.
That's already how it goes, you know? Yeah. It's just part and parcel with the premise. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
I'm all for this version. Yeah.
Yeah. It's no good when it gets bogged down in explaining how all this stuff works, you know? Like, as good as that would be for the podcast, it makes for a bad movie. Like, that's for us to do. That's our job, to get bogged down in the mechanics of Paddington and how it syncs with Pink Floyd. Leave that to the experts, all right, movie makers? You just focus on telling a good story, okay? That's our deal, our promise.
Yeah. Because you know there was a version of Paddington where they went deep into, like, the spell that made him talk and stuff like that.
Oh, man.
Like his hat makes him talk or some buzz.
He just learned.
Yeah, exactly. And it brings up my favourite thing about Paddington is it could have been so bad, and yet it's so good.
So true, man. Yeah. This
Like,
movie has all the hallmarks of a terrible movie, but it
yeah,
never gets there. It's always a great fun time.
yeah.
Yeah, it skirts by all those failings, you know?
Yeah. I went deep into the Paddington Wikipedia trivia, which is very boring, by the way. It's like one of them was this is Sally Hawkins' second film in 2014 to feature a CGI title character.
Huh.
The first was Godzilla.
Oh wow. The 2014 Godzilla. Dang.
Yeah, it's rough
Yeah.
trivia. But like also down near the bottom was like, this is Warner Bros. 8th live action / animated hybrid film to be rated PG. The others were Space Jam,
Good.
which we're unable to talk about because we're of that generation, so we just love it.
Yeah.
But Osmosis Jones.
Yeah, also good.
Oh, okay. The Freddie Prinze Jr. Scooby-Doo.
Oh wow.
Kangaroo Jack.
Oh,
Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Oh.
Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed.
Yep.
And then coming in weirdly 6 years later, Yogi Bear.
Oh man, yeah, Yogi Bear.
Yeah.
Dang.
Which had Justin Timberlake as Boo Boo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, this movie fitting into a subsection with all of those. Like, it's risen so far above basically all of them.
Yeah.
Dang, what a weird list.
I know, right? It's like going through a DVD section at a thrift shop hearing that list.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest little section. Like, just 8 DVDs right at the back. They're all animated feature mixed with real people movies.
Yeah. Where at some point the CGI animal crosses his arms and leans back to back with someone cool.
Yeah. That'll happen. Oh, man. Goodness me. You got to wonder about the DVD salesman's like specificity in terms of their categories if they're getting to that point, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
Do you reckon like these days a thrift shop can say no thanks to the DVDs?
I don't know. I feel like the angle being like, I'll take the DVDs from you for free. Like if you just want to be rid of them, I'll take a donation. But I don't think any shop is buying DVDs now. At least, other than wholesale, I don't think. Yeah. I'd be surprised.
Interesting collectors.
Yeah, I guess so. If it's like a rare DVD, but like they've got to be few and far between at this point, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Man, the DVD, what a time.
It was so good, but it lasted for such a short amount of time.
Yeah. It's so much better than VHS though.
Yeah.
Like it's just way better technology and everyone's like, it's the perfect home video material. We've finally got there. Let's only do it for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And then after that, never again.
Yeah. I just miss the bonus features. Like, if there wasn't director's commentaries, we wouldn't have podcasts.
Yeah, true. Oh, man. There's a whole podcast to be had about bonus features.
Yeah. Reviewing the bonus features?
Yeah. I would call that podcast Special Featies. Special Featies with Ron Funches as my co-host.
He has to host it.
Yeah. He'd be great at that. Ron, get on that. That sounds like a really fun podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, yeah. So, Paul Paddington's trapped in this station, in Paddington Station. He's about to be named Paddington in an upcoming scene. But yeah, he sits in front of this little, like, lost and found section, which is good set dressing. I like this little area. I don't think this is real, obviously. And yeah, it tracks some pigeons by throwing a piece of his marmalade sandwich to a pigeon. Yeah. And then attracts a whole bunch more, as is the issue with pigeons, and that they're all over the place. They aren't as big of a deal in Christchurch, New Zealand, where I am. But I feel like they're much more around the place in Auckland. Is that true?
That is true. I have been hit in the back of the head by a pigeon.
Holy shit! Wow.
Yeah, it must have seen
Full
Paddington
speed?
and been like, pretty quick. But it
Oh,
must have
man.
seen Paddington and been like, that boy's keeping a sandwich under that hat.
I love the
Didn't
idea
even-
of you wandering around with a hat.
Oh man, I'm trying. It's every March. I've realized I try to become a hat guy.
Oh, right.
Last March, I got real into wearing this wide brimmed hat, and then kind of started to feel weird because it was the start of lockdowns and stuff. So I've put it aside.
Mm.
And yeah, this March I've chucked it back on.
Hey,
almost
man.
a year later.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Let's pick up where you
Yeah.
left off last March. That makes sense to me. You know, like you didn't get a full chance. Didn't get a
Yeah.
fair shake there with that hat. So now's the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me know
I
how it
reckon
goes.
once everyone's like vaccinated and, if the world gets back to normal, we'll just start counting the days again from March 23rd.
Oh wow, that'd be intense.
Very confusing. Yeah.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about counting the days again.
Okay.
That'd stress me out too much, I think.
See, it's people like you and Big Calendar that have stopped all my big calendar ideas. Shake-ups.
I like small calendars, what can I say?
Yeah.
Well, big calendar shake-ups here on the podcast.
Paddington, then he hears a couple having a charming conversation about a Victorian wall experience.
Fuck yeah.
And
let's talk about
Who
that.
comes yeah.
What is going on at the Victorian wool experience? I love that detail in this movie.
Yeah.
I want to go.
Maybe that's Paddington 3. Finally, we get the Victorian wool experience.
Paddington 3 semicolon Victorian wool experience. I would love that.
Yeah. Because by then, the Brown family who we're about to meet have all, learned their lessons and they're all, a closer-knit family.
Yeah.
They'll probably all just love the Victorian wool experience. And Paddington, is going to love it.
Of course, he's going to get into some wool-based antics. He's going to,
Yeah.
accidentally unravel a portrait of Queen Victoria and get wrapped up in wool.
Oh, that sounds like her.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you can't stay mad at her.
Nah, man. But yeah, this family, they get off their train and they ignore Paddington initially, but then the mum, comes over and checks on him, see if he's okay. And she does this over the tempo change in time, which I'm here for as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, notably, her outfit, her costume that she's wearing is the inverted colours of Paddington's costume later coming up. She's wearing a blue hat and red coat, which is
Holy cow. That's amazing.
sweet little detail that you only get
Yeah.
if you watch Paddington two times in a row. Yeah. Yeah, it's very nice. And then, he says, he gives him the story of what's going on. And of course, the dad doesn't really believe what Paddington's saying. He assumes he's some kind of bigger bear out here.
Yeah.
And Paddington says that he's going to go sleep in a bin. He's planning to sleep in a bin. And the dad's like, there you go. That's the spirit, which is just such a good joke.
Yeah.
And then, they eventually relent and give him some food while the mum goes and tries to talk to the station people and be like, does anyone know where this bear should be? And so it gives him some food at a cafe. And this is where we get the beer name thing. Tries to say the beer name of Paddington.
Yeah.
But he can't and says something rude in beer, which we don't know. Good stuff.
Yeah. Another, it's an old gag, but it's a gag that is always funny.
Yeah. It's pretty
They're
good.
oh, how dare you?
Yeah. It's a nice one. There's lots of obvious jokes in there. It's a kid's film, so these tried and true jokes are going to come out. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. But then some of these jokes are they invert the inversion of the joke. It's too clever for little Gareth sometimes.
Oh man. Little Gareth, the child within Gareth, or
yeah.
adult
just
Gareth?
me. I'm very small.
Oh.
These jokes are very big and I'm very small.
He's just a tiny man at his computer. Oh no.
Oh.
Little Gareth. Someone save little Gareth.
Please explain the jokes to little Gareth.
He's over here talking about Link's body spray. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what to do. Oh no. But yeah, after some antics here at the cafe involving the cake, they resolve to put him up for the night and look after him just for the night.
Yeah.
And they give him the name Paddington based on Paddington Station, which is a little bit much, but that's fine. Yeah.
It could have been worse. He could have been called Station.
Station?
Yeah.
Platform 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no good. But yeah, there's a good wee shot with like the name being framed above his head, which is pretty cool. And then we get shown the sights and sounds of London, Gareth, and the pouring rain by the guy from Little Britain, who I don't remember the name of.
Matt Lucas.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's they're driving around. Over this scene in the movie, we're hearing Pink Floyd, obviously, but the recurring band is playing. There's a calypso band out here playing in the absolute pouring rain. I think every time that they're on screen, it's terrible weather.
Yeah.
I love these guys. It's such a weird choice having calypso music in London. I think it's like it tracks like a South American flavor, right?
Yeah.
In the middle of London. And that's really clever. And it just makes it's a really good music. A really good song that they're singing, Yeah. It's fun. I like them as a recurring motif. They're never acknowledged either. Yeah. They're just out here.
Yeah.
Like moving around the street corners. Yeah, that's good stuff.
There's also, this ends with like one of these jokes that was just too smart for little Gareth.
Oh no.
Where you've seen all these great, iconic shots of London.
Yeah. And
then they complain to the taxi driver, like, why did you go that way past every single landmark?
Yeah. It's like, well, the bear said he was new to the city.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd show him the sights. God, excuse that accent. I'm never doing that again. Yikes.
You're not bringing back Cockney James, the beloved character?
Oh, bloody hell. No, that's the worst thing I've ever done on the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks.
Never again. But yeah, they get back in the house and Paddington thinks he's staying forever. This is the house that he's given, but no, just for the night. And they're talking about like trying to find him a guardian to look after him. And Mr. Brown says that they're going to have to send him off to a government facility, and then they're like, an orphanage, and then there's a cutaway to the orphanage, which is this like nightmare house on the hill with like bats flying by.
Yeah.
And then this is like doubled down on as a joke, and that he says, no, an institution for young souls whose parents have sadly passed on. And then that is printed on the sign instead for a second cutaway. That fucking slayed me.
It's so good.
It's really unexpected and fun. Oh, man. And then,
James?
Yeah.
Do you know who directed Paddington, by the way?
Who?
Oh, I can't believe I get to be the one to tell you this.
Who?
The director is Paul King. He also wrote, I think he wrote Paddington and then co-wrote the sequel.
Sweet.
He came up and like cut his teeth as the director of The Mighty Boosh.
Yo! Oh, that makes so much sense.
Right?
Oh, man, because, there's a bunch of, like, the Bush-friendly actors in this movie. It's like an alumni of, like, great British TV actors just rocking up in this film. That makes perfect sense. Oh. And
like, you know how the direction of Mighty Boosh was really what made it, like, the little kind of homemade wonder?
Yeah, exactly.
Very, like... Yeah.
God, it's perfect.
All here, but he's got a little more money for it, so he's getting even more wild.
Yeah, man. It's not going as hard into the like everything's handmade kind of feeling of the Bush, which had its own kind of vibe. I was thinking about the Bush earlier today, actually. That's great between Paddington watches.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that makes so much sense. I really love that detail. Damn, awesome. Shout outs to him. Great direction, and good to see you doing well with the Paddington franchise, because I believe there's going to be a third one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
just been announced.
We were joking about that earlier, but I think there actually will be. So yeah, that's cool. Man, awesome. Yeah. So we get into money, and then they're talking about having to find this explorer who came to Peru, because that's the only lead that they have, really, and maybe the explorer will be able to give Paddington a home. So they'll try and do that in the morning. And Paddington goes up to freshen up in the bathroom, which involves some absolute horseplay. Just
some malarkey.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Through a series of unfortunate events involving basically every part of the bathroom, it starts to flood. There's a really great sequence where Paddington is battling the shower head, which is like acting like a snake and flying all around the room, while holding the toilet seat as a shield and using a toilet brush as a sword. Love that. That's great direction. It's so good. And then he like floods the whole bathroom to the very ceiling.
Yeah. And meanwhile, actress Sally Hawkins is watching this, and she's like, that gives me an idea.
Yeah.
Which is... Wait, okay, you clearly haven't seen The Shape of Water.
Okay, No, I haven't at all.
All my Shape of Water heads out there are like, ha.
Nice. Shout-outs to our
a joke we've probably already heard.
Shout-outs to the Shape of Water fans out there. The merman
My favourite
lovers.
thing about the Shape of Water fans is they'll listen to a podcast about any movie except The Shape of Water.
That's damn right.
Yeah.
Oh man, they're just open-minded individuals. They don't want to hear any opinions about The Shape of Water. They've got their own. But any other film, that's fair game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was going to say, meanwhile, that we get lovely actress that played Mrs. Weasley rocking up in the film.
That's who she is.
Yeah. She's playing a character called... Her name's Julie Walters. She's playing Mrs. Bird, who's like a live-in servant, I guess, or potential relative. I don't really know.
She's a relative of some kind. I think she's held over from the books.
Yeah, she's like a great aunt or something, right? That lives with the family. I don't know. She appears to do a lot of work for them, so that's kind of the relationship that she has, I suppose. But yeah, she's here saying like that a storm's coming and that she can feel it in her knees. And I'm thrilled to see her. She also doesn't trust the microwave, which is a funny joke in there. That. Also, another fun detail is that Mr. Brown calls up the insurance agency to get his policy changed now that he's having to live with a bear for a single night. I think that's hysterical. Just in of itself. He's on hold and the little hold music says, your call is moderately important to us, which is another great bit. Man, all this stuff just is so mighty boosh. You're so right. Man, that's fantastic. I'm going to have to watch Paddington again and see all this stuff like played out in that context now. That's amazing.
If you end this record and go watch Paddington again, I will mail you. I have a trophy in my house and I will mail it to you.
Wow.
If you do that for me.
That's tempting.
The best thing about this challenge is nothing about it happens on mic, so...
I mean, I feel like...
You're not beholden to the listeners.
It's true. I feel like... I don't want to promise anything. I'll see how I feel at the end of the recording. But I feel like I have the stamina to do this, and that I've already watched it twice. What's the third watch? And also, we've listened to the same album probably over 500 times at this point. What's your estimate actually? No, it can't be 500. We've had 50 episodes under our belt. This is episode 51. Hello, welcome listeners. But on average, I feel like we listen to the album at least twice.
At least twice
per movie. So 2.5-ish per.
Yeah, and then there's been.
So that would bring us to 150-ish on average.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, maybe a little lower. We should crunch the numbers again and deliver another update on our terrifying mission.
It's fine. We get to watch films like Paddington, Gareth. Goodness.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, yeah. So I feel like I could do it, but I make no promises at this juncture. No binding contracts here live on the air as a rule. Yeah, so they're looking up, trying to find the explorer in the encyclopedia, which I love is another detail. There's no internet in this realm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like modern London, but we check the encyclopedia, we check the antique shop. It's great. These are the avenues of all knowledge here.
Yeah.
In modern London. But yeah, we get the water like falling down from the ceiling, like a little drop of water falls into Mr. Brown's tea over the descending arpeggio in time, the time solo.
Yeah.
The first one, because there's two, and the second one has our boy Paddington flying down the stairs in his bathtub. Like rotating down the stairs is another perfect arpeggio moment. Love it.
So good. It made me so happy.
Yeah. He coasts right into frame in his bath as the vocals come back, and I'm like ecstatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good sync.
Yeah, anyway, then we get a little voiceover thing from Paddington here as he's writing a letter to his aunt back in Peru. Is a really sweet little shot match of him drawing in the window condensation for some reason. He just draws the outline of the skyline of London, which I like. It's cute. Cute shot. And then, one of our favorite things, we talked about this in Live Aquatic, but we get a cutaway of a miniature into a full-blown set as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the dollhouse is the house with all the different family members. We get introduced to them over Us and Them starting up as well. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're meeting them, and it's a new take on Us and Them. We're meeting the them that are just kind of friends to us.
Yeah, it's true.
I guess the audience's surrogate via Paddington.
Yeah, it's typically, we've had it as an adversarial kind of relationship with Us and Them, right? We're talking about us versus them as a thing. But this is us and them, because in a new living arrangement. Yeah.
Oh,
lovely.
The keen-eared listener will notice that I constantly accidentally call us and them, us v them after the LCD Sound System song.
Oh, yeah. I mean, similar kind of thing.
Yeah. That's simply because I haven't seen a scene which brings us an us and them that's truly touched my heart until now. So
well, there you go.
If I make that mistake again, I have to mail James a trophy.
Oh, man. How many trophies do you have on stash, dude? You're making a lot of trophy-based promises. You just really want to get rid of this trophy. It's like,
it's weighing me down.
It's full of like champagne that's gone off, and you're like, I don't know what to do. You can't tarnish the trophy. Oh man. So I'll briefly cover each of the family members here. We've got Mr. Brown, who's a risk management advisor, a like insurance guy, who's very by the numbers. He's worried about Paddington bringing up the risk of the household, which I love. We've got Mother Mary, who is the mum, obviously. She's an adventure story illustrator, which is a cool profession. We get a like time lapse of her painting a little scene in the sewer. And she doesn't know who the hero of her story is yet, which I think is cool.
Something also lovely is Sally Hawkins' parents were children's book illustrators.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lovely. And we've got Judy, the daughter, whose like defining factor in this scene is that she likes a guy called Tony at her school, and she's learning Chinese to start her own small business, which is a fun detail.
Yeah, really liked that.
Yeah.
Also, very strange is on Neon, which is like New Zealand's HBO Max.
Sure.
The subtitles are, when she speaks Chinese, they're in Chinese, but then the English side of it is in German.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
as if like Neon, this like, big company owned by Sky TV, has just gone and sneakily taken this off a German website and chucked it up.
That's possibly true, Neon. Yeah. Where you at? We're calling you out on the show.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You dirty thieves?
Yeah. The only way to prove you're not a dirty thief is to give us free Neon as some sort of weird sponsorship.
Or a trophy.
Oh, yeah. Give me that trophy.
Well done, you sleuthed us out, boys. Have a trophy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And yeah, finally we've got Jonathan, who's the son in the family, and he wants to be a astronaut. He's got the like danger gene in him, and that he's like a daredevil, and he loves making contraptions and stuff. That's his whole deal.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we get also Mrs. Bird, who's the like 11 house servant type, who's at the moment like using a blowtorch on the bath, which is unusual. She's trying to like weld the legs back on, I guess. But yeah, interesting. Bit of home welding, I like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's great for Fast and Them, this scene. I love it.
Yeah. But then if you're like deep down, I wish we had some sort of nemesis, so it could be an us v them.
Exactly.
And this film has got you covered, because who are we about to meet?
We're meeting the director of the Natural History Museum here, the key antagonist.
Yeah.
Her name in the film is Millicent something.
But it doesn't matter, because all you're going to call her is Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman, baby. Looking fantastic in this film.
Yeah, having so much fun.
Yeah. Living it up as the villain.
I think her agent was going to just pass on this film for her, thinking like, I think it was out of her kind of what she likes to do.
Yeah.
And she heard it and was like, no, I want to be in Paddington, please.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And she has a great time in this role. Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
This big like Cruella de Vil energy from her throughout the whole film. Yeah, great outfits as well. She's got like a snakeskin suit she wears at one point because she's like this rogue taxidermist as her character, which is fantastic. But yeah, she's the director of the museum. Looking fierce. Love it.
Yeah.
And yeah, she gets delivered. So her whole deal, her evil thing that she does is she gets delivered live animals and then kills them and taxidermies them for displays, which is horrible. Scary. For a kids film, that's dark. And if other characters in the kids film like comment on it, they're like, "Whoa, what are you doing?"
Yeah, one such of those characters is this delivery man who... Yeah. I'm just going to... Like, we've seen how good Nicole Kidman's looking. This man is looking good, too. I had to look him up, and he's from What We Do in the Shadows, but, what a cool dude.
He's doing my Cockney accent, but way better as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is great. He's delivering, like, a cute little capuchin monkey to her to get stuffed, which is awful. And then he's like, "Oh, I was working." No, I'm not doing it again. I nearly did. He's working down at the down the docks. I'm not going to. I can't. I'll offend so many people.
Just do a different accent. There's no way that could be worse.
Oh yeah. No,
almost gotcha.
You're setting me up to fail, Gareth. Here on the show, I won't do it. I won't have it. Neon's gonna burst down my door and revoke my trophy.
I can't have that, no.
Yeah, for accidental racism. Oh no. But yeah, anyway, he talks about this seeing a bear who eats marmalade when he's down at the docks working down there, and she's like, "What? Where did he go?" She like flips out, and it's because she's got this like conspiracy theory board with all the tape and pins and string and stuff in the background. The Pepe Sylvia setup. Theory board behind her about Paddington and his family. I don't know if Paddington's there actually, just like this species of bear trying to track them down specifically. We don't know why at this juncture, but Paddington, he's in danger because Nicole Kidman's coming for his ass.
Oh yeah,
look out.
IMDb would like you to know that this is the second film Nicole Kidman has been in featuring a animated talking bear and based on a children's book after The Golden Compass.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. These are like, I don't know if this is like the fake trivia that people like, like when you get that specific, but
it's a lot of list-based trivia, which I didn't expect from Paddington, I must admit. Usually it's like behind-the-scenes kind of stuff. Like, your trivia about like her agent passing on this was way better than any of the other trivia that you've read.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Maybe I just assumed there was no drama making this film. Like, everyone was just so happy with Paddington.
That seems right, you know. It's a fun time. There's another little great line that I want to point out that because Mr. Brown's so obsessed with risk management, he says that 34% of pre-breakfast incidents involve banisters, which is hilarious, in response to his son wanting to like slide down the banister like Paddington does. Amazing.
That's a huge amount as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like it would drastically increase with a house with stairs, unrelated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess in London. But yeah, there's a little Chekhov's gun moment where there's a little handheld vacuum cleaner that is used to clean up some mess, and then Paddington like accidentally gets stuck to the light with using this little vacuum cleaner. This will come back. It's great.
Yeah, when you buy the Chekhov brand of anything, you know you're going to use it.
Chekhov's Hoover. Yeah. That's a great little thing. Oh man, I bet that I'm certain that joke's been made before, but like in a film or something. But yeah, Chekhov's whatever, and then like they're so reliable.
That's the brand.
You'll use this like before the story's over. That's really good. Yeah, we get a like crazy tilt shot now. Like they go outside and then the camera like pivots to the left so that we can look up and see Mr. Curry, the next door neighbor who is suspicious of Paddington. He is played by Peter Capaldi, who is great, by the way.
Oh yes.
Fantastic actor. Just
check him out in general, folks.
Yeah, man. Check out Capaldi. That's my other podcast where I just talk about all the roles of Peter Capaldi.
But you don't have anything that insightful. You're just like, check him out.
Check him out. It's a short podcast. It's like it's like me reading like the like IMDb description of whatever he's in, and then me going like, yeah, so check that one out. Subscribe to my Patreon, and see you next week.
The Patreon just gets like fan art that you've done of Peter Capaldi.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, sweet. I'm down.
Yeah.
Do you accept trophies?
Only for the first month.
Okay.
Yeah, but here he is. Then we get introduced to him, and then we're off to the antique shop as the kids are going to school to see what is going on. But we've got to go via the subway, the underground, Gareth, the tube. There's some more antics playing out here with like
just some follies,
mate,
happening here.
Some slapstick, slapdash comedy gold as Paddington gets caught in the ticket gate, and then a fantastic bit where he is going down the escalator. This is so funny to me when it says, like, he reads the sign that says dogs must be carried, and so he goes and steals like a chihuahua and holds it under his arm as I feel good plays. Hysterical. It's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, it's again one of those jokes that was too smart for little Gareth. Like, it is so funny, and you also have to read it.
Yeah.
Which is very rare for a kids movie.
Premium joke. Oh,
yeah.
Love it. Yeah, and it falls over in slow motion for us as we get into Any Color You Like as well.
Yeah.
Nice stuff. And then, we basically decide not to take the train because it's too much hassle with Paddington. And we go into Gruber's Antiques, where Jim Broadbent is Mr. Gruber, the antique salesman. And he's got a little model train that delivers him tea at 11 o'clock. Which is a great life. This shop, I love antique shops and like just being tucked away in a small scale kind of job. Like, this and like bookshops is such a nice vibe. And I would love to retire in a shop like this someday.
Until someone brings in all those bloody DVDs.
Yeah, man. I'll take them off your hands, but only as a donation.
Okay.
But yeah. By then, gosh, I hope the DVDs will be like long gone.
Yeah. They figured out some amazing reuse for them.
Yeah, we use them as big earrings now.
Yeah. Oh, actually.
Big old hoops, but it's actually 2 copies of Space Jam.
That's awesome.
Anyway. Yeah.
If we ever do a Pink Floyd live show, you have to wear these Space Jam earrings.
Oh my god. Okay, I'll promise that. That's funny.
All right. I'll give you a trophy for it.
Sweet. Okay. Worth. Yeah, so we get a little bit of like Jim Broadbent's story as like there's like a sort of immigration kind of undertone to this movie, and that and that Paddington is a stranger in a strange land, right? He's moved here to London, and it's sort of an allegory for an immigrant moving to a city where they aren't from, and the trials that they face, and we get like a little bit of his background coming in on the train in a very similar manner to how Paddington like did with his little thing around his neck. He's like an Eastern European man here, Jim Broadbent, for some reason. He's doing an accent that is arguably not good, but yeah, anyway. In the background...
Yeah, it's no James's Cockney accent.
Oh, the best accent there's ever been. I'll bring it back, whatever. It's too late now.
The rest of the show.
All right, so brain damage starts playing, and no, this is terrible. Brain damage starts playing, and who should show up in the background but bloody Superhands from Peep Show is the only way I know this guy.
Yeah, same. My note was just the lunatic is on the grass. Superhands shows up.
Superhands. Oh, great stuff. And he's like a pickpocket thief. He steals a wallet from somebody, but Paddington spots him and is trying to be friendly and is like, oh, hello. And then he's like, oh, shit, I've been spotted by a bear, and drops this wallet and leaves the shop. And Paddington's like, oh, shit, he dropped his wallet. I better go give it back to him. And then there's a hysterical chase sequence breaking out where he's like riding a skateboard and he hits like this costume rack, and then suddenly he's wearing a policeman's helmet and has a whistle in his mouth. Don't know where he got a whistle from, but I love that.
But it's so funny because he tries to talk through it, and
it's so good.
Whistles.
Yeah. Bloody Superhands. He delivers the best line in the whole film, which is, he's like, it's some kind of tiny police bear.
Yeah.
Before like trying to get into his car and drive away. I think that's so funny. I lost it when he said that. And then he's just like water skiing on the skateboard behind a double-decker bus. The police officers assume that he's a police officer, that Paddington's a police officer, and they're like, officer in distress, and like go into hot pursuit mode. Hilarious. And then results in them crashing outside the schoolyard where Judy is in class and sees Paddington out the window. This guy trips over and drops like 18 wallets out onto the ground. Yeah. He's been busy. It's been a big day for Superhands.
Oh, heck yeah.
And then gets arrested, and suddenly all the kids think Paddington's the coolest, and Judy is cool by proxy for knowing him.
Yeah.
So there you go. She's like, oh yeah, that's Paddington. I live with him. He's a pretty cool bear, you know? She's no longer embarrassed by Paddington.
Yeah.
That she was previously. She was just, she was described earlier as suffering from embarrassment, like it was an affliction, which is so accurate to like preteen times. It's like ingenious writing by Paddington there. Great insight from the boy.
Again, this scene could have been so bad. Paddington's on a skateboard.
Yeah, right? But, if he commented on the skateboard, like I think about this, like I'm going to throw something at you right now. If we replace Paddington in this movie with Sonic the Hedgehog, does it still track? Like, like I feel like Sonic would be making all these one-liners about every situation that he's in, and Paddington just doesn't. Like, he's coming from a like complete place of naivety, and it just lands so much better.
Holy cow. I think you've hit it, is that we need our little CGI remade critters to not be cooler than us. We need them to be naive. Like,
yeah. The whole reason that it works is that Paddington is out of place in the movie and in the context of the movie, right? Like, that's why it works for me. And that, like, he's the only different looking thing in the whole film. And also, like, he is different to everyone there. It is well addressed. But they aren't, like, commenting on it. They aren't like, being like, you're different. Oh, bloody hell, there's a little bear. They aren't doing that. Like, I wish they were now, but...
Yeah, and Paddington's not, like, quipping, and he's not like... Yeah, well, that went well.
Exactly.
Kind of stuff, which is all... Yeah.
That's why it works. And it's...
Yeah.
It's great. It's good. Well done.
It's like how Seinfeld was the unfunny one of his friends in the Seinfeld sitcom. Like, make B-movie again, but B-movie... The bee isn't fun. Isn't like the wisecracking one. It's like all his human friends.
The bee isn't trying to have a relationship with a human woman. Just like,
oh yeah, that's the main problem. I forgot.
Give me that, please. Like, I can't believe that's a real subplot in that movie. Oof.
I can't believe most of B movie is about a lawsuit.
It's true. That's like the exact opposite of this movie, and that it gets so in the weeds about this whole system.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, so if there was a bee, right, and he tried to live as a human, what would that be like? Let's analyze that for 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's what B movie's about, and Paddington does not do that.
No. Paddington lets him get on with his life.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Eat shit, B-movie. I hate you, B-movie. It's the worst.
You do. I've seen you leave a room when B-movie started.
It sucks. It's a bad movie. It's like less than B. It's like a D movie.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
You're coming in 13 years after with the hot take on B-movie.
Yeah, just play the Seinfeld theme after I say that. Oh god. Anyway, so Paddington returns to the antique shop, and all the antique shop patrons, presumably the owners of the wallets, I don't know, but they all applaud Paddington, and over the applause we hear the line, "I'll see you on the dark side of the moon," for Brain Damage, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that they're applauding the title drop of the album. It's so fun for me. But yeah, they find out that the hat that Paddington is wearing is from the Geographers Guild. It's got the insignia on the inside of the hat, and so that's where they're going to go next. They're going to lead.
Yeah.
Sweet. We're cut to the security inside Paddington Station, and Nicole Kidman's doing like a break-in. I do love that these guards are discussing the content of Oreos, the protein and like trans fats inside Oreos. So bizarre.
They're trying to guess it. It's so funny.
It's the weirdest thing, but that's like the smallest, like, it's just a little joke thrown in there.
Yeah.
That these guys are like having a fun time despite their boring job. It's so good. And then she like hacks the mainframe looking for Paddington, and spots him inside the cab driver. So she too has found a lead at the same time as Paddington, which is good script writing. And that's over I believe over the silence between albums that she's doing this. I don't actually know. Hang on.
It is just before, because the silence happens over the flashback about the baby.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. So there's a argument about the whole situation with the street, the chase with Superheads, and the kids have come around and they're having a chat with Paddington. He gets shown that he's in the paper for being like a hero, which is lovely. And they're like, "Don't worry about Dad. He's always been old and boring." And then Mrs. Bird rounds the corner and is like, "Actually, he used to be a rebel without a cause," and like has a flashback. where he's riding a motorcycle. It like he's dressed up with really bad wig and mustache
Yeah.
on this motorbike. It is a really fun match cut though, because they go into the hospital and the mum's pregnant, and they come back out, and he's like how he is now. Mr. What's his name? Mr. Brown is like how we see him in the movie. And he just goes into like a beige station wagon, which is fantastic. Sudden change after having a child. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And that's over the silence, and we get into playthrough 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they decide to like give Paddington a wash. I don't really know how this is supposed to help, but it does like add some like fun family bonding time or whatever.
Yeah. And the guitars kick in as slow-mo wet Paddington shakes.
That's true. Slow-mo wet Paddington shakes. As we like to call
my TikTok account.
Wow, that's the hell of a username. Dang.
It is all just slow-mo Paddington.
Slow-mo Paddington shakes. That'd be great.
How good is the technology to keep Paddington wet in this movie, by the way?
Very strong. CGI's come a long way. Paddington is so believable in this space. Like, he's not like Uncanny Valley Bear. He's still like fairly cartoony, but he also like doesn't read as like too cartoony that he's like way out of place. It's the perfect middle ground between like realistic fur physics and like cartoony tiny bear friend, you know? It's great. They nailed it. So they give him his trademark blue overcoat next, which has like been in the family for generations. This is a like hallmark moment probably for the movie, right? You've been waiting.
Yeah, it's like watching Captain Marvel put on her iconic outfit.
Yeah. I watched that recently, actually, Captain Marvel for the first time. It's
pretty good.
I told you I was out on Marvel movies for the longest time because I got like to Avengers Endgame and I was like, I think I'm out, guys. And then so I haven't watched any of them since that one. And then I came around and watched Captain Marvel recently. It was all right. It's pretty good.
Oh. Yeah, weird one to kind of come back through, but okay.
Yeah, that's what happened. What happened to me on my travels out there? But
this is not a hot take at all, but check out WandaVision. WandaVision's a good time.
I've heard that's good, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. This is a bit of background show notes within the show.
Yeah.
Love it. Just check in with what we're up to on the outside. But yeah, they sort of, bond with Paddington in this moment. He's like sort of becoming part of the family. Meanwhile, the director has tracked down the cab driver and like tortures him, I guess, like suspends him by his ankles in order to get information as to where he drove Paddington. And sort of finds out the neighborhood where they dropped him off. She runs into she's like dressed all incognito, like classic spy outfit with like beret and all. Very good stuff. And she's hiding out in this phone booth, and Mr. Curry is very impatiently waiting outside, probably to make a phone call, because he's like, his whole character trait is that he's like insanely cheap, I think, as a person. He's been living in like the same flat for the entire time and has like hand-me-down outfits and things like that.
Yeah. I think it's more that it's like you can't be in there and not be putting up illegal ads or something.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He's just a curmudgeon. Yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, he sees Nicole Kidman turns around and he instantly falls in love, and we get like 2 bars of Hello by Lionel Richie in the movie, which is the funniest music cue. I love it. But of course we didn't get it for our Pink Floyd watch. I just want to comment on that because I just loved it. Peter Capaldi falling in love instantly with Nicole Kidman is just the best. But they like team up to try and capture Paddington basically at this point. Mr. Brown and Paddington go to the Geographers Guild, and this place is cool. I think it's like a repurposed like post office where they use all the little tubes to deliver mail and things or information. But it's the same kind of thing that's going on here. Yeah,
for sure. Love these tubes.
Yeah.
But the thing about these tubes, like I was When I saw these in movies, I was too young for them, so I'm wondering what the Paddington audience are feeling.
Yeah, I don't know if they understand what's going on here. It's just like cool mechanical stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Typically associated with the post office, but yeah, it's like an ancient thing that I don't think many people would get these days. But yeah, the Peru expedition that they're looking for has been scrubbed from the records, and so they can't get information about it. But Paddington's not about to give up. He like runs into the elevator and tries to convince Mr. Brown to join him. And so as part of this, we're in mid on the run, and as soon as the elevator doors open, the crash sound happens, and Mr. Brown is now dressed as a female maid. In probably the worst part of the movie, I would say.
Yeah, it's great for the world that this hasn't aged well.
Yeah.
In only like 6 years, but it's also like not great for the world that it was considered.
It's not terrible. It's just like kind of niggly. I was just like, this is not really necessary. But anyway,
Paddington 2 has a very similar scene, also with Simon Barnaby hitting on a character who's had to go into like plot related drag. And it also feels a bit iffy.
Yeah, it's Farnaby, I believe, but yeah. It's tricky because his character name is Barry. So we're thrown off there, that's fair. But yeah, it's kind of weird that this whole thing happens, and then like he has to try and pretend that he is who he says he is inside his pass photo, which is of another person.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a kind of weird sequence.
It does have the great like, the arm grew back and they stick pins in Mr. Brown's arm.
I wasn't super sold on that.
Yeah, even that's funny. That's really, to me, only that funny because later Paddington describes it and he just does it really in a funny way.
The callback is good, but the actual moment isn't that good, but yeah, anyway.
You've got to have these moments to call them back.
It's true. That's how that goes with callbacks.
The beginner's comedian curse.
If you never say anything, you can't do any callback jokes.
Yeah.
I wish I was funny to begin with. Dang.
That's so, like, from my life doing open mics, my past life as an open mic attempted comedian, just like watching your joke bomb and knowing, but it was going to be called back. And it won't be funny either time.
Oh, that's rough stuff, man. Yeah. Dang. But that's it. You got to pay your dues, right? Like you got to bomb before people laugh. That's how it.
It's a pretty perfect metaphor for it. Yeah, you've got to do the bad joke to get the callback.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah. Anyway, yes, we'll get back to it. Paddington, meanwhile, is trying to like get this information out of the archaic computer and these tubes flinging out over the place, and he finally gets the little documentary that we saw at the start of the film on a roll of film.
Yeah.
And so they need to put everything back away, but they accidentally jam Paddington's baguette sandwich into the mechanism, and it clogs the whole thing, conveniently covering their escape when they need to get away. It like explodes in this huge like gout of paper from the ceiling, which is fantastic. But they managed to get away because of that, so sweet. Mr. Curry is hosting the director Nicole Kidman in his house. A very weird interaction here, where again beers are used as a metaphor for immigrants, and like the systemic racism surrounding that. Nicole Kidman goes through this like monologue of being like, well, it's just one beer now, but wait until more move into the neighborhood, and then before you know it, there goes the neighborhood. Like that's basically what she's saying here. It's just. I
do love that one of her threats is all night picnics, though.
I mean,
which I would love.
No, I would not love that. That is too much for me. I'd like. It's because I'm not invited to these all night picnics, Gareth. That's why I'm so curmudgeonly. I'm up here as Mr. Curry. That's true. I've never felt such a kinship to him. Oh goodness. But yeah. So he's on side, and they resolve to like call. He'll call her when he's home. When Paddington's home alone. Sweet. The family gather around and watch the documentary, and Paddington does this thing where he like steps through the projection on the screen into Peru and sees his uncle and aunt again, and has like little teary Paddington eyes. It's lovely, cool shot as well. Like really cool effect of him walking through the screen. It's all like watery. I love it.
It would have been perfect for Great Gig in the Sky, but
it's super would. Unfortunately, we're not there, right? What is happening now? Still time. Yeah. But yeah, they finally get the name of the person that they're looking for, the expedition man. Montgomery Clyde is the name, and so they have another lead to go on. Great stuff. This is where we're about to get some phone books. He writes home another time and just talks about how like life is progressing with the family. Not much to report here. And then the mum gives him a bunch of phone books to look through, which is it's just such a weird little thing.
Yeah,
they have like a stack of phone books. There's like eight different phone books for London. Mad.
Yeah, I guess it's back when you needed all those additional pages. You weren't just combining white and yellow. You had all the shades.
I guess she's looking beige. Up. The beige page.
The beige page.
It's where you go and buy the Volkswagen or whatever he had, the station wagon. Anyway, we do get into Great Gig here as Mr. Curry is calling up the director and saying that Paddington's home alone, speaking in a hilarious code. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And then some bit more mischief where Paddington is like torn a page out of the phone book and is having to repair that by getting covered in sellotape in the process. Great stuff. And then the director comes in and goes like full on Ocean's 11 heist mode, trying to attack this bear, trying to shoot him with a dart.
Yeah.
But through a series of unfortunate Rube Goldberg-like incidents, she ends up setting fire to the house by like filling the room with gas and then opening the oven and it turning on through happenstance. She manages to get away. She is wearing a gas mask for this caper as well, but Paddington can't recognize her as a person and assumes that she's an elephant. Are there elephants in Peru? I don't actually know. Probably.
Mate, I'm not even... Sorry.
You're right.
Mate, I'm not even sure if bears are in Peru.
Oh, there's got to be bears in Peru. Peruvian bears.
Actually, there definitely are bears because the author originally wanted it to be Africa and found out there weren't bears in Africa.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah.
Gotta be.
But yeah, there's gotta be.
There's gotta be. Gotta be Peruvian elephants out there.
Yeah, it just sounds right.
Yeah. Prove me wrong, listeners. Yikes.
There we go.
That was the worst.
I thought that was the best.
Okay. Oh, yikes. So anyway, he sees her as an elephant and that's like his story. That's the falling down of his story, right? He tries to explain to the family when they get home what happened, but they think he's lying because that he's made up this story about an elephant breaking in and all this stuff happening. But yeah. So this is the final straw, and it's very sad. As the Mr. Brown's like, we've got to kick him out. It's our children are not safe with him in the house. There's been a flood and a fire at this point, and poor little Paddington is...
Oh, no one's called him Paddy.
No, I have now. I wrote pad in my notes just out of like ease of use, just because I had to write the word Paddington like 1,000 times. So I just started writing pad or paddy in there, just for simplicity's sake.
I was calling him PB, which he probably hates because it's a different spread, peanut butter.
Yeah. He is eating peanut butter at one point, right? Maybe it is marmalade at that stage, but someone yells out, "Is that peanut butter in the sandwich up there clogging the mechanism?" Like,
oh no, yeah, that's totally marmalade.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's fine.
That guy just doesn't know what he's talking about.
I mean,
he doesn't know what's
absolutely with that terrible accent that tracks. Like, of course he doesn't know what he's talking about. He sounds like a bloody fool. Oh no. But yeah, old Paddy's listening through a little like vent shaft. I don't know what this is in context of the house, but he's listening through it anyway. And
yeah, it kind of snakes through. So
it's
yeah,
weird.
just
Yeah,
the normal piping.
don't know what this is for, but anyway, yeah, he listens to it and like he's like, oh, the family doesn't want me anymore, so he just runs away. And
Yeah,
we get some. He decides to find the explorer on his own. We get some shots of him like going to Buckingham Palace, and there's
yeah.
the guardsmen here. I can't remember what these guys are called. Do you know the Buckingham Palace guards? They have a special name, yeomen, I think maybe.
Okay, that's very cool.
Maybe they're the guards outside the Tower of London. I'm not sure.
The yeomen.
Let me just check. They're foot guards, apparently.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
That's not as fun as a yeoman.
Yeah, I believe yeomans are, they're the Tower of London guys. So,
Okay.
a little different. They wear, like, big coats as well, just not the big fluffy hats that these guys wear.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy takes off his big fluffy hat to offer Paddington some of his supplies that he keeps in his hat. He's had
Very sweet.
a similar uncle figure tell him to store things in his giant hat. It's a great bit, honestly. He's got like a full picnic worth of stuff in here.
Yeah.
Including like thermos, which he balances on his head. Love it. Great gag. Very sweet. But yeah, the other guard comes around and has no such sympathy for Paddington and kicks him out. Very sad. And then yeah, we get like a shot of him like falling asleep on a park bench or something. Oh.
Yeah, very sad.
Yeah.
Really, it feels weird that it's the jaunty kind of money.
Yeah.
Playing in this scene.
Not so good for that. Not a good sync there. Yeah, the family read his note that he left them about running away. Oh, it's sad. Mrs. Bird, the great aunt or whatever, scolds Mr. Brown for being insensitive and says that they needed Paddington just as much as he needed them. And it's, there you go. Got him.
Yeah.
So he feels real guilty now. We get another really cool shot here of the Paddington trying to find all these different places and cross them off his list, all the different people with the name that he was looking for. They all appear as handwritten things floating above the location and then later on get crossed out. I think this is a really cool visual representation to show that. It's just very tidy. Like it a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a little montage of him trying to find the explorer intercut with the family just being sad without Paddington. Oh, brutal. And yeah, he gets the last name on the list, and there's a bit of confusion as he goes to the wrong door because there's like a number upside down or something. And then finally finds the place and gets let inside. It's the right place. This is where the explorer lived, and it was the lady's father who answered the door. But who should it be? It's bloody Nicole Kidman.
Oh yeah,
she's the daughter of the explorer in a shocking twist.
Us and Them starts playing for this reveal.
So good. She's back with Us and Them as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she is. In a true antagonistic fashion. But yeah, daughter of the explorer. Love it. Not to be confused with Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she takes Paddington and shoves him in a van, big taxidermist van. Another great visual gag here with it's just, all hallmarks of the Bush now that I think about it. And that it says taxi on the door, and as she slides it across, it says taxidermist, which is brilliant. So funny. And then, Mr. Curry, intercepts her and is like, oh, what are you doing with that bear in your taxidermist's van? And, she, wards him off with some harsh words, saying that they were never... she never really cared for him at all, and it breaks his heart, his little Peter Capaldi heart. So he... I love this bit as well, and that he tries to call the Browns from a payphone to disguise his voice and pretend to be someone else to give them an anonymous tip. But Mr. Brown instantly recognizes his voice. I just think that's really funny as well.
Yeah.
And
and the funny voice is Peter Capaldi's real Scottish accent.
Oh, really? That's great.
Accent. Oh my godly, what's that word?
His accent.
Accent.
His bloody accent. Oh, God. Anyway,
There you go, thank you.
Yeah, you got it. Be quiet, Cockney James. Get back in your hole.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard you have to record next to him.
Yeah, he's the worst. He keeps, like, throwing peanuts at the side of my head. Get out of here. Yeah, so the family all rush off to rescue him, and then we get to our final, basically final location set piece of the movie, which is the Natural History Museum. I believe this is the real building, and it's stunning. Huge, like, Gothic building architecture with, like, gargoyles and stuff on the corners, which is really very nice. Nicole Kidman takes him down and, like, introduces Paddington to all the different animals that people have donated to the museum. These, like, stuffed animals, obviously, but he treats them as, like, living animals and greets them in turn.
Yeah.
Presumably Paddington just thinks these animals are keeping very still.
Oh, he's so what?
Yeah.
Oh, my boy.
Yeah. And then, we get the backstory of how the Nicole Kidman's father was the explorer. A black and white scene where he's getting shunned from the Geographers Guild for failing to return from his exhibition with a specimen for the museum. He didn't want to do that on moral grounds because these bears could talk and, like, were intelligent. And so, despite them being a new species, everyone else in the guild is like, well, were they really civilized? Could they play cricket? Like, that kind of thing. And probably yes is the answer. But
yeah, honestly.
Given enough time. Anyway, they're very nasty and they strike his expedition from the record, and her father was disgraced. And so that's her character motivation for why she's like, I'm not going to make the same mistakes. I'm going to take up my father's mantle and look after the museum and do specimens for them. And so she became this taxidermist person with a vendetta against bears.
Yeah.
So there you go. All ties together. And Paddington, like, hearing the story, like, tries to escape, but easily gets shot by a tranq dart and gets taken down. There's a sequence where the family try and sneak into the museum through the sewers, which is a callback to the story that the mum was writing, and it's also suggested by the daughter as well. Everyone gets their hand in this caper, basically. All the different members.
All the Chekhov's guns and Chekhov's stationery and appliances are going off. Yeah. Chekhov's sewers.
They're all popping off. It's the whole Chekhov's range of products and goods and services.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chekhov's. Make your home used later.
You're gonna want to use these.
That's the slogan.
Oh, it's so good. But meanwhile, I love Mrs. Bird's part of this caper, and that her whole deal is that she has to go in and distract the security guard by being this kindly old woman. But that is flipped on its head when she challenges him to, like, a rum drinking competition.
Yeah.
Which is hysterical. Later on, she takes out a second bottle of rum from her purse, which is, how much rum does this lady carry with her?
Yeah.
Amazing. But she gets this guy, like, good and drunk. It's hysterical. And then, the family shut off the power to the museum and go in to find Paddington over any color you like. And then, the dad, like, goes full bravery mode. He regresses to his rebel without a cause phase and goes out the window, but he gives his wife a big old kiss, and the hero's kiss, where you tip the lady back and they're knocked off their feet in surprise, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm dubbing.
I also called it a hero's kiss in my notes.
Sweet. I'm dubbing that the hero's kiss. If that's not a thing, it is now.
Yeah.
But it's great. There's also a sweet little cutaway where the hero in his story, the face gets filled in to be Mr. Brown's face, which is good.
Yeah.
Nice. And then they through a bit of sneaking, he manages to get around to the window where Paddington is, who assumes he's God, but he isn't. It's so good. And then, it's Paddington sort of wakes up and makes his own way out as Nicole Kidman activates the security system. That all these like shutters start coming down all over the place. It's this sweet Indiana Jones reference where Paddington grabs his hat out from underneath a closing door. Love that.
Oh yeah.
Shout outs. And then another little reference to the musical. I don't know. The what is it called? Orchestra performance thing. I can't remember. Carnival of the Animals. Anyway, it's a reference to that when Paddington is like sliding down the back of a brontosaurus. They make a musical. They make a musical call out to fossils from that, which is just a little music theory thing. So I like that.
I can't believe we're wasting you on a podcast where you don't get to hear the music in films when you knew that was a reference.
Yeah, it's just a little musical reference. It could just be like a typical like dinosaur fossils associated with the xylophone kind of thing. But
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But anyway, shout out to Carnival of the Animals. It's a good time.
Heck yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Paddington manages to get away, but he locks himself in like a little furnace room. I don't know what this is for in the museum. I don't know what they would have reason for this like blast furnace thing that they have.
It's for the exhibit about fire.
Okay. Anyway, there's a chimney to the roof, so he decides to get away, and this is where he finds his Chekhov brand vacuum cleaners, 2 of them hung on the wall, which he uses as like little grippy things so that he can climb up the inside of the chimney. Very fun, very very Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
Love it. Mission Impossible style thing. Heisty stuff. These vacuums also have a very useful indicator for us, the audience, to show that they're running out of battery, and that they have 3 little lights on them, which is a nice little recording touch as well. And we get into brain damage as the family head up and try and intercept Paddington from the roof. And his little vacuum runs out of battery and he falls in slow motion, but he gets caught perfectly in time with the chorus of brain damage kicking in.
Yes, he does.
Ooh!
Yeah.
It's tidy. The slow-mo fall as we get right into the like chords hitting of brain damage. That's really good. That's really nice, that sync.
It's also like it's like how the song itself feels more hopeful when it comes into that chorus.
Yeah, man.
And just like when hope springs, man. Hope reaches out.
Hope springs eternal. Yeah.
One hand to grab Paddington, the other to play the chorus of Brain Damage.
Hell yeah.
Ask me.
Love that. That's great. Yeah. They come out with Paddington, and there's a confrontation on the roof with the director. She's up here, and the family all declare that you'll have to get through me to get to Paddington. And Nicole Kidman's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that.
I'll stuff a person.
I'll shoot and kill you as well, which is wow. Okay, but Paddington uses his sandwich kept in his hat as a final like gambit move, literally for emergencies, which I like as a touch. He tosses it towards Nicole Kidman, and the pigeons swoop around her and sort of like bustle her near to the edge, and she doesn't fall, but then Mrs. Bird pops out of a little trapdoor and flips her over the edge. She's drunk off her ass, presumably, which I love as well. But she's fine. We see Nicole Kidman hanging from a flagpole because this is a kid's movie.
Pink Floyd even have a little laugh at that.
We're panning up to the sky for Eclipse, and we're getting into the epilogue now. He writes a little letter home to his aunt, the final letter, and we see the aunt in the home for bewildered bears or whatever it is. Paddington, he sort of tells the story of what happened to the director, who she gets given community service and has to work at the petting zoo, like shoveling poop around. animal feces, and we see this like bulldozer drop a bunch of manure on her, and who's piloting the bulldozer? It's the capuchin monkey. What?
I know.
I loved it. I love that the capuchin comes back and gets his little revenge.
Yeah, they call him Chekhov.
Yeah, Chekhov's capuchin. I love that. But yeah, there's like a bit of epilogue stuff where we're finding out what's going on with the family. Everyone's adjusting to having Paddington in their lives. The dad's more cool and adventurous now. He's helping out his son building a rocket and all this stuff. And yeah, over the silence, we go into the start of the third playthrough over this little epilogue. And we get into Breathe just at the end for the final bit, where they're outside and having like a snowball fight, like final hurrah for the movie, as the Calypso band are there just busting out Breathe for us. Yeah, in the snow. Just the Calypso band in the snow is so unusual, and I love that visual. But that's it. We get like the opening like 30 seconds of Breathe, and then the credits start rolling. There we go.
Yeah, I wish it had been like ending when the guitars kicked in, or just ending at the end of the album, but you can't fault these things otherwise.
Nah. With a little bit of trimming here and there, I feel like we would have gotten the perfect 2-album play. But we needed a little bit of extra stuff in there, you know? I feel like if we cut the scenes where we were in the like the stuff with the like maid outfit, we would have been fine, you know?
Yeah.
Just cut that. Easy cut. And
yeah, but then you've got trouble trying to get all those sweet syncs that came after.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, yeah.
It's tricky. Oh, sorry. What did you think? How did it sync? I forgot my slogan.
Oh gosh, I was in the weeds then. I was trying to talk about syncs, but no one had asked me.
No one had prompted
so
you.
So rude of me.
What did you think?
Oh my goodness.
How did it sync?
Thank you.
Tell me.
Can Cockney James ask me?
No, he can't. He's unavailable at this time.
Oh, what's he up to?
He's just over in the corner. I think he's like betting on the horses or something. I don't know. He's got a tiny TV out.
Oh, yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know where he got that. Anyway.
I think we had some very good syncs. I'd put this in the like, it's such a weird world we're living in. I'll put this in the Mouse Hunt Ratatouille kind of range of the higher 8s.
Yeah, I agree with you actually. That's exactly where I was going to put it. Like, it's nice to like nestle it between those two, and then they're like the CGI animal films.
Yeah,
it just makes sense to put it there, right?
Yeah, keep those two rivals apart as well.
Oh, thank goodness! Yeah. Use this bear to hold back these two rats from scrapping it out. Goodness.
So would you give this an 8.15? So it's clean in the middle of those
that
two?
Sounds right to me.
Quality on the graph if there's room.
Oh gosh, quality syncs on the pod.
Oh yes,
I'm happy with Paddington. Performed admirably.
Yeah,
cool.
Call me a hybrid cultivar flowering plant because I was charmed.
There we go. Nice. Final one, scraping at the end there.
Yeah.
What are we doing next week, Gareth? What's happening?
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, look. Every episode, it feels like, you know, we go on a journey, we pile on all of this stuff, and we get out there.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we find ourselves just having to turn on back. Every time the album plays, it's like it's piling on all this stuff. It fills itself with syncs and anti-syncs and lacks of syncs.
Yeah.
But then we just find ourselves turning back to where we came from, and the album starts again. So we need to find a movie where the plot is going somewhere and then immediately turning around.
Okay.
And I mean, what's a better one of those than Mad Max Fury Road?
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Hell yeah. Man, this is
I did not have that prepped.
I'm very excited for this. This is one of my favorites, dude. Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right. Nice.
Yeah. So you can witness us next week.
I was certain that you were going to say Tenet, and I was really worried.
Oh, God.
But yeah, Mad Max Fury Road next week. Look out for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So good.
Pink Floyd would fix all the sound issues in Tenet though. You gotta
Yeah.
say.
And that we wouldn't have to hear that terrible sound mixing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Perfect. Better
Thanks, Pink
film.
Floyd. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So, any things to wrap up here? Go see Gareth at the Comedy Fest coming up.
Yeah. Tickets at comedyfestival.co.nz, and my show is Love Lamp and Friends.
Yeah,
Yay.
go see him. He's one of the friends, and also
Yeah.
one of the lamps.
That's me. Oh, no, it'll be a good time. If you enjoyed that charm joke, all those charm jokes,
Yeah.
imagine if I had to make them up without Wikipedia.
Prepare to be charmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golly. Well, yeah, until then, I've been Gareth Blacklow.
I've been James Barron, but my bear name is.
And just like a Motorola and BlackBerry, I hope you've been charmed, and we'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
See you on the dark side of the moon. Goodbye. I really wanted to go into Cockney James at the end there, but he doesn't deserve the light of day. He's dead now. I shot him. I shot him with a tranq dart. He's on the floor. All right, I'm stopping now.